talking about what you want to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, come on, you want to watch the prelims while we out here trying to educate the
No,
folks?
it's the semifinals. The semifinals is tonight, gentlemen.
Oh, the semifinals. Okay.
Yeah. This is
For
this
y'all
is
that
big.
don't know, Kevon was a track star with an Adidas scholarship.
Well, contract.
Contract. Sorry, Adidas contract. We got big things doing big things. You know what I'm saying?
No,
And matter of fact, he almost was as fast as me. So that's real credit to himself. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say at one point in my life I actually looked up to Jamari. Yeah,
Hey, listen,
it's true.
listen. You know, me and Kavon have that infamous race where he raced me in the parking lot, woke me up out of my sleep, and I was still in my green sweatpants with no shoes on. So we're not gonna talk about the end and what really, what happened, because we know what happened.
That race is still debatable. Plus,
That is not.
what
It's
was
not a
it?
debate. It's
What
not
was
a
it like?
debate.
Like 50 yards or something like that.
That's not a debate. You listen. You woke me out of my sleep.
Yeah.
I still had sleep in my eye. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
It was
You know?
like a
It
lucid
was
dreaming experience.
back in the day. Jamari was the big homie. You come to a new school and you had this one dude that went to the NCAA championships and you go talk to him like, hey, how was it at the big dance?
Hey,
And then
But-
you end up going there, but 2 years later in two events, and then you be like, damn, I'm the big homie now.
Hit him with an intro, bro. Hit him with an intro.
Hit him with the intro. Y'all ready to get started?
Ready like Freddy.
I'm just enjoying the little small talk that we having. Let me
Cause y'all know it's the cookout. When y'all come, y'all coming with family, man. This is family right here. Y'all get the experience of being at the everybody want to be invited to the cookout.
Oh, we got somebody. Let me get her in right now. Let me get her in. She at the bottom, the troublemaker.
Here we go. I'm glad you was able to.
Now we
can
can
unmute her.
Pull up a chair.
Mr. White Coat.
I ain't wearing the white coat. No, I got the company logo on tonight.
Okay, I respect it. Hold on, I have to get my headphones. Hold on.
Go get your headphones. Do what you gotta do. I'm just gonna bring.
Is that United States Air Force that she has on there?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the online cookout. Wants a game. We are here tonight. We're gonna talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about something that we had going on in the Facebook thread. Chivalry. We're gonna talk about the Chivalry dead. One of those topics that just never seems to die. What else I got in here, man? I forgot.
Denisha, you in the Air Force?
My husband was.
I like how you interrupt my intro. I
what
like how you
base?
interrupt my introduction. Let me mute this.
Okay.
He's muted. Interrupt my introduction, man. What's going on, Dr. P? Mr. White Coat? Hey. What else I had? What I say in the title? Chivalry. Oh, toxic boss culture. I seen a thing of talking about that today. I want to hit that from both angles. I want to hit it from both angles, not just they were hitting from toxic boss culture from women coming into their own in the entrepreneur world, and obviously when women are working in the entrepreneur world, it's not a 9 to 5, it's a 24-hour job, and how it actually interrupts the dynamics of relationships. But also, the men did it first. Men brought that toxic boss culture into the realm as well. So I want to talk about that as well. And then after that, we just gonna freestyle and see what comes up in the comments. Let me text a few people, get some people into the crowd. But we want to introduce Denisha so she can explain to Dr. Pierre what the Air Force logo is, whatever she got on her shirt. I didn't even, so we'll let her talk for a few minutes, introduce herself. I actually did a podcast with Denisha on the Ultimate Freedom Podcast. What was it, last year, Denisha? She was into social work. And so I'll let her go ahead and break some of that stuff down.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
We can hear
you. Okay. Hey, peeps.
What up?
Hey. Yeah, so I'm actually a lot of things. Social worker, homemaker, part-time accountant, part-time, what else? Caregiver, stay-at-home mom, all those things. What Mr. Clarendon is talking about, I still call him Mr. Clarendon because he was our sub from high school. Everybody called him Michael Vick, or you called him that sub.
I'm about to mute it. You about to get muted.
So we call him Michael Vick, and that's
You're telling too much information.
Call him Mr. Clarendon. I have to get to the background. But we talked, 2020, I was in grad school at the time. I went from social work to public administration. Social work is very intense, and we talked about that and all the umbrella, everything that falls under the umbrella of social work. And now I'm a stay-at-home mom. That's it.
All right, welcome.
Wait a minute.
Hey,
you don't work?
Excuse me, White Coat. What was that?
Mom.
You don't work?
What I do is not a job.
Oh, it's a labor of love.
Labors of love, the highest calling of my life.
The biggest in the world, man.
How much does it get paid?
There's no payment. It's priceless.
Hey, he coming at you, Denise. He about to come
There's no payment. There's no payment. I'm shaping the world.
Hey, I was a house husband at one point, but I mean, I still made six figures while being a house. That's right.
And what in telling your house husband? What was that?
A house husband is a man that stays home, take care of the kids, clean the house, cooks. You know what I'm saying? And when his wife comes home, still performs in the bedroom. You see what I'm saying?
Isn't that you just being a husband?
No, it's a house because you stay a dependent for the people in the military. You know what that is? That's right. Yeah, you know what that term means. Yeah, I was a house husband. And it's a good feeling. You don't have to worry about anything.
Good for you.
So I got a question to ask you.
Hold on. Trashy, do you get you get a W2 you get a W2 and tonight she'll get.
I think she gives out a W9. That's right. You like that?
Neither.
All right, so as we go around, we got Collins, the guru, relationship guru. You already know who he is. We got Bo coming in with everything frugal. Make sure y'all check her Facebook out. She teaches people how to live frugally to build wealth. That's the whole thing, guys. Live to make money, live below your means until you get the means. Hey, Bo, you need to make me like your ambassador for everything frugal. Like I need to get paid handsomely for the quotes I'll be coming up with. Then we got, Dr. Pierre. Everybody knows him. Now it's gonna be some I already feel the energy between Dr. Pierre and Denisha, and I want y'all to know last time she was in the comments and she was just going ham. So he's gonna get her today. He's definitely going to get her today. Then we got Hamilton. He has an artist named Jay. Is it Jay Shamash? Jay.
Yes, sir. Jay Smile.
Went to Berkeley School of Music. Everybody give him a round of applause for that.
Hey, one time for the one time.
Berkeley School of Music, guys. So he can do anything as far as musically. And we're going to keep it going. So we're going to start this topic off. Is chivalry dead? I don't like to use that expression because it is kind of cliche, but we were going into the on Facebook thread about this topic. Is chivalry dead? I'm gonna let the panel go ahead and begin to break that down. Oh my man.
Hey, Collins, behave, Collins. Calm down, Collins.
Yo, talk about a W9, man.
All right, so
this is a G-rated show, Dr. Pierre.
We're gonna let Denisha start it off. Denisha, chivalry. Okay, so let me tell you how we came across this topic. I was gonna download it, but I don't feel like showing that video. But basically, it was a video of a lady. I guess it was an instructor. Mute your mics and some feedback. That's probably Denisha. Let me mute her. Yeah, it was Denisha. She got that hood mic. Basically, it came about. I guess it was an instructor. She was, and I'll put it in the link too, so everybody can see it eventually. But basically, she was showing two young men how to pull out a chair and seat two young ladies into, by a table, all that chivalry stuff that they talk about, helping your girl out the car, all this other stuff. So Denisha, what do you think about teaching kids at a very young age to be chivalrous?
I want to see the video. If you can send me the link, that would be good. Can you define?
So here's what was happening. So what she was showing is the gentleman and lady, they walk into where the chair is, like it's simulating a dinner table, right? He pulls out the chair, she tells him say thank you. She sits down, and then they wait for her. She holds the chair, and he push the chair in. And then when it's time to get up, what you do, and you say thank you, and all, and the lady says thank you to the kid, and then they walk off in the arms. So it's teaching them how to seat a woman at a table, right?
Manners.
So,
manners, teaching him manners.
Well, okay, so the slight difference between manners and chivalry is there's like a set. It's kind of like etiquette back in the time when the French king was basically saying, hey, this is how you're supposed to eat, because he had people just eating wild all over the place. And they made up these rules. So there's certain rules in the acts of chivalry that they have. So it's like you always pull the chair out for the lady. She doesn't have to get up by herself. You always scoot the chair underneath. So it's not necessarily just manners. It's more like practices that are, opening the door. And if there's a puddle, you lay your coat down on top of the puddle or something like that. This kind of practice of chivalry, and it was being taught in the class. The kids are about 13 years old, maybe 14 years old, and it was teaching both the male and the female how to react to each other, saying thank you and things like that. So, that was basically the lesson that was being given. There was actually a lesson, and she would say step by step what to say, what to do.
Oh, this was a teacher.
Yeah, it was the actual teachers. Like, I don't know if it was a program, if she just came there specifically for that, and it's teaching the kids, but it was actually in a classroom. It was in a classroom.
Yeah, I know that video sounds very strange, but my view on it is that all starts at home. I don't really know if people still lay their coat down if someone steps on the puddle, but that starts at home for sure. Those qualities, if they're not produced at home or manifested at home, they're not going to learn those things or have a desire to do those things outside of the home. So I don't know. I really still want to see that video because it sounds weird. Like I don't really understand the setting. If it was like a college campus or like a teacher teaching young people, I don't know. But
I'm about to see if I can get it on here right now.
Yeah.
Try go ahead.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And one of the things I was like, hey, my thought process was, well, if it's not being done at home, this gives some kids an opportunity to learn how to be gentlemanly and ladylike, right? Just the common courtesy things that we think are common because our parents taught us this. Maybe they didn't come from that background, and maybe they get someone that they want to, just little simple manners things like referencing manners, like opening the door for a woman as she's walking towards the door. Helping a grandma across the street. These are things that you could consider chivalrous. There are some antiquated ideas, right? Which are like, hey, make sure you take your hat, tip your hat to a woman. Well, that actually comes from, a lot of people don't know this, but the origin of that practice of tipping a hat to the lady is actually come from the bubonic plague. And when they were in Europe and the sores would manifest, everybody full garb, right? They didn't show any skin because it's very cold. So the only place that you could actually see that the person had the plague or not was the sores that were on their head, right? So what you would do is you would tip, when you saw somebody that you wanted to greet or you wanted to take a girl out, you called on a girl, right? You would tip your hat to say, hey, look, I ain't got the plague, right? And then you put it down. And so now after practice, people said, oh, that's the good thing to do. That's the right thing to do long after the plague is gone. All right. So it could be one of those scenarios where you got antiquated systems that aren't necessarily beneficial to society as a whole. And Jamar brought up a really cool point about it's maybe like it teaches inequality in a form where it's like, well, what about, why isn't it cool for a dude to open the door for a dude? I'll open a dude if I see somebody coming in, especially an older person, right? And I'll hold the door, or even just random person. I'm walking in, they walking out. I'll hold the door for them. just
All
on
right.
the courteous thing. But if you look at just chivalry, it would only be done for a woman, and then maybe women don't do it for the guy, and or have that idea that there's something that they can return. Right.
I got the video. Let me see if I can play it without fragging out. Let me see what happens. Oops.
Please
Can I share that?
stand on the side of the chair. Gentlemen, both hands, you pull out the chair. Ladies, step in front of the chair. Stand. You have to stand. You have to allow them to push the chair in a bit. So you stand. They will gracefully stand for me. They will gracefully push in the chair. And you sit. Both hands on the sides. You rise, and they push the chair in a bit more to take you closer to the table. Good job. Now it's time for you to rise. You may need to use a restroom or something, or we're leaving. So you rise. He pulls the chair out. You step out. You say, thank you. Thank you. He says, you're welcome, and he pushes the chair back in. Good job. All right, let's go to the table.
All right, so. All right, so you get the idea. That is.
That hit it, Denisha.
He said, in today's dating pool, those dudes are gonna pull all the chicks.
I mean,
hey, it's probable. It is probable.
I think it depends on what type of girl you're dealing with. If you're dealing with like a traditional girl, yeah, be chivalrous, open the door for her. But if you're dealing with these girls that think everybody's equal, if they're equal to men, then no, you should be opening my door. Dude, put your coat on my puddle.
So wait a minute. So do you think, Ham? Do you think that teaching this could actually corrupt, that kind of idea of the feminist movement where everybody's equal? Is that what you're saying?
It's teaching it now would only hurt men. Modern women these days, they sharks. They sharks. They don't want no good men. They don't want no good guys. They are sharks.
Dude, right here.
They don't want no good guys, man. You can't be good to these women these days.
But he's not lying.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, so
Venetia Clarendon says, but do women want men to open the door for them? What's wrong with young boys learning this? And there was also a comment right before that, Jamari. It was really, really quick. We didn't get to read it.
Oh, okay. I'll get to it in a second. True.
So what do you think? What do you think, Ham?
It's wrong because like you're teaching these kids to fall in the beginning. Like guys that be nice to girls, open doors for girls are simps. Listen, if you open a girl for a girl, you buy this girl roses, you take her out, then what? What do you get?
What's a simp?
A simp, somebody who fiends over women, who splurges on women to thinking they're going to get something at the end, and they're not. That's what
I don't understand. No, but
you're married, right?
Yes.
How tall is your husband?
6 feet.
How much money he was making when you married him?
How much money did he make before we got married?
Before you got married.
Dang,
you ain't gotta give the whole details.
No, but I'm trying to see what does that have to do with
this answer. I'm gonna tell you. How much money was he making when you got with him?
70,000.
That's good. Wow. Okay, 70,000.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Stop. Pause. Was he in the Air Force making $70,000?
She's pulling somebody's chain.
I know majors in the Air Force that ain't making $70,000.
Hey.
Was he a lieutenant colonel?
Listen. I'm not about to listen. That's what happens when you ask these type of questions. I do VAs.
Okay, you told me to give you a round number. I gave you a round number. I said 70. I'm trying to see the example that you're trying to make. So
yeah, so she's just trying to get.
It's a little different because you're married, but all right. If you had to pick your man, your husband, your dream man, he's the man you thought about.
He's my.
No. It's two different things. No.
Yes. The answer is yes.
No, I'll say, okay, so your husband was the dream man that you picked out before you married him. Before you married your husband, you said, oh, he has all the qualities that I want in a husband. Everything.
That's how he ended up being my
Exactly,
husband.
trash. Exactly, trash. He had every quality that you wanted before you married him.
Yes.
All the income, the right height, he looked the right. He had the right game, everything.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, let me pull the reins back because her husband's probably watching or listening. So
that's fine. That's fine.
I really I want him to land
right.
so bad so I can understand his example.
Get to it, Hammer. Get to it.
All right. So most times women want a specific thing. If you hear women these days, they're like, oh, he gotta have this, he gotta have this, he gotta be this, he gotta be that. Like they want a whole list of requirements before they even talk to a man. Before you even get in the door to talk, you got to bring something to women. So why should a man be chivalrous to a woman if he's not going to get what he wants in the end? Like I've seen girls take men on dates, knowing they weren't going to do nothing with the man, but yet get that date, get that food out of him, get that movie pass out of him. But then at the end of the night, what? He go back home with his tail between his legs.
Okay, but why should you expect to get something out of taking somebody out?
So why should women be? Why should we be?
Why should you feel like
just going on a date,
a woman out, you should get something at the end of the night? I mean, you taking her out to get to know her, right?
No.
I'm not taking her out to get to know her. No, I'm taking her out for one reason only.
So you want a prostitute, not a date?
That's not a prostitute.
Listen,
I don't. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ham. Go ahead.
No, I don't blame women the way it is. It's the way it is. Women are supposed to try to find the best type of men that they can find.
Facts.
Men want to sleep with as much men as they can find, or that they have access to.
Women. Pause that.
I said men want.
You said men want to sleep with men.
My fault. I'm sorry. Pause. Men want to sleep as much women as they can find.
Hey, Trashy said, a big gotta eat.
Hey, big gotta eat, man.
Somebody got to.
At the end of the night, at the end of the day, the women that got fed, right? My main objective was not reached, and that was getting them things.
Buddy saying, we know who Buddy is. Buddy saying that's that red pill nonsense, man.
So okay, red pill nonsense, buddy, red pill nonsense, right? Okay.
Hey, buddy, I'm slightly,
Let me ask you a question, buddy.
What is red pill nonsense? What does that mean?
Red pill it's the community. It pretty much says the same thing I'm saying right now.
I don't understand what I'm saying. Understand the phrase. What is? Hey, Jackie TV going in on you, Ham. The men want to sleep with men.
Oh, nah,
but wait, I'm unfamiliar with the term red pill.
All right, so no,
what is that? What is that related?
We'll get to that. It's the little red pill, green pill type of
blue pill,
blue pill, alpha versus simp type behavior. That's pretty much what it is. Okay. So like I said this in the chat, right? I don't mind common courtesy. Like I hold the door when I'm going to the gym. If I'm walking in, I open the door. Somebody behind me, whether it's male or female, open the door. That's just who it is. It is what it is. When it comes to chivalry, that's why I don't like the term, and we talked about that in the group, is the term chivalry, the word chivalry is actually an archaic word. Nobody uses that word, right? And it was more towards medieval times, right? When people are knights and ladies are actual ladies. So a woman is not a lady based off her gender. A woman is a lady based off of her title. So ladies and gentlemen were actual, and lords were actual titles that were given to people who own land. So not everybody in those times were ladies. So when they talk about chivalry, like I said in the chat, in a thread, like when they talk about chivalry, knights weren't treating people that was less than them chivalrous. They weren't opening up the doors for women who didn't have titles and land. They were rude to people who didn't have money. So if you didn't have money or wealth, you were not going to be treated like a lady, because you're not technically a lady. You're just a woman. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So what happens is, like what Hampton is talking about, you start building these level of expectations in women that they don't deserve it. You don't deserve for me to just randomly open up the door for you. And if you understand why men open up the door, because it goes to the horse and carriage. The carriage is way up high. So when women had these big extravagant dresses on, they couldn't just hop out of the carriage. They had to be helped out of a carriage. So these are things that men began to practice, right? But again, this was, so when I opened, like I tell my wife, like V, she gonna hate me for this, but when we first started dating, she tried that crap on me one time. You know what I mean? We went to the car and she's looking at the door. She's looking, I'm like, okay, get in the car. And she's like looking at the door. I'm like, bruh, get in the car. I'm not about to open the door for you because you got able hands. What do you mean? Like, you're an able-bodied person, you can open the door. Now, if you got something, like I told her before, if you have something on, like a skirt or a dress is gonna hinder your ability to get into the car properly, or it's going to hinder your ability to sit down in the chair properly, then of course I'm going to be not a gentleman, just a nice person, and try to make you sitting down a lot easier. But like I say, they should teach, as Denisha alluded to earlier, just proper manners, courtesy, again, across the board, open doors for anybody, help everyone. Don't let it be that this guy is being programmed to do all this stuff for a woman. And what is she, like Bo say, what do you expect? So what are we doing it for? At the end of the day, what are we doing it for? And then what do we get in return? Where's the reciprocity? What are we getting in return? You just get
a card and some socks on Father's Day?
Listen, I don't get that on Father's Day. They go all out on me on Father's Day. So I can't even get into that club. I get PlayStation 5, 6s, and 8s before they even release. You know what I'm saying? I got the PlayStation 10 and they don't even have the actual prototype yet. So we're not going to get into that. I'm going to go get into the comments. I'm going to go ahead and who wants to, okay, let's go to Kavan. Let's hear Kavan. And then we'll go to Bo. And then we'll come back to the one that's making the faces in the bottom left panel.
I don't know, man. I don't think women nowadays want men to be chivalrous. I think it's gotten to a point where women are making just as much money as the men, and they want to open their own doors, right? Like one young lady said, I shouldn't have to wait for a knight in shining armor to come and save me. Why can't I save myself? Right?
Okay.
There still are some women that want a man to open the door for them. It's funny because, okay, I think in today's world, men have to be real careful, because if you open the door for a lady, it may be perceived that you're trying to get something from them. You're trying to do more than what they want, right? And if you don't, someone is going to say, well, that was rude. You saw me, I was walking in the door. You can't hold the door for me. So as a young man nowadays, you just can't win. It's very hard. How am I supposed to know what you're thinking? And as a result, young men are nowadays, they're just not doing it. They're just avoid it altogether. It's interesting. It's a real interesting topic. Me personally, if I was a young guy today, I wouldn't open the door for anybody, just because of the way that the world is nowadays. Yeah, I am. Yes, Denisha. I would not open the door for anybody. Because I wouldn't want to end up like R. Kelly or any of the other guys. Okay, just
wait, what?
Yeah, I went there. Yes.
Where you going?
Yeah, that's right.
But
wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You think R. Kelly was being chivalrous?
You need to qualify that. Like, what are you saying?
I'm using him as, I'm being facetious. Calm down. All I'm saying is that look, I don't want anyone to think to themselves like, hey, why is he holding the door for me? Is he trying to get with me? Does he want something more?
Right.
I'll be on my way. You guys make just as much, and you guys want equality, open the door for yourself.
Damn.
Now, on the other hand, if I'm already going out with you, or we in a relationship, I think it's only fair that I open the door for you. I hold the door for you, right?
Yes, sir.
But to a stranger, just because the person's a female, no.
So Trashy TV
Let's see
Junkie
what she said.
asks you, as an old guy, are you opening the door for your wife?
How am I old? I'm only 40.
Basically, you were born in the olden 1900s days, man. Like
in the 1800.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I would definitely open the door for my wife. And I do from time to time. Sometimes I might have both hands filled, and she may have to open the door for me, right? I think it goes both ways nowadays.
Facts.
Yeah. But that's all I have to say. As for dinner, if you take your woman out to a fancy restaurant, please, guys, sit her down, pull the chair and sit her down. Other people are watching. You know.
I don't care. I don't care what nobody's saying.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody watching.
I don't think it's right that you should go out to a nice dinner and you just sit down and the woman just sit. It's kind of a little off.
Man, sit your ass, man.
You know, no, it's a little off. But for young single people nowadays, nah. Yeah, chivalry is dead.
Trash said you said if you were a young guy, so it wasn't trying to be insulting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bo. Let's go ahead hear from Bo, and then we're gonna get to Denisha.
Based on the content of the video, I don't think it's a bad thing. These are children, and when you look at society now, our music, everything is be this, be that, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't see what's the problem is teaching them something different, in a respective manner. I can see where you come from, where it's just the dudes. So I would say, yeah, teach the females, how to be presentable and, how to sit down right, but I don't think it's nothing wrong. From what the children are these days, I don't, to me, that's a wonderful thing. Yeah. Teach them how to be respectable. What's wrong with that? Because they're walking around disrespectful. You know how many kids my size I want to fight? Like, you my height, bro.
Like, you're lying. You're lying. I'm muting you. You're 4'11". Nobody's your height. You're getting muted.
Shut up.
He's lying.
But I'm saying, they're very disrespectful nowadays. Children are very disrespectful nowadays. So as the content of the video, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I thought it was a good thing. It was teaching children, something different than what they're normal used to. I understand the history of it. I understand that. But look at it this way. Nowadays, everybody's calling a woman queen. Every girl's a queen. The history of queens is not great. The history of queens aren't great. Queens were pawns. The only purpose of a queen was to produce an heir. But we walk around calling each other queens.
That's in Europe.
I would say if we're going to use
African culture too. The queen.
You about to dive into something deep, so we gonna come back to that. That's another good one. We gonna good thing.
I was just saying. I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna go ahead. No, you did well.
No,
I'm gonna say I want. Okay, so Denisha, since Mr. Buddy Davis is comments here, I want you to go ahead and comment off of this, and also tell me your thoughts. Go ahead.
I think what Buddy said is spot on. I also agree with Bo that it's great that they're teaching kids that. And originally I was confused because I thought it was going to be like a college setting, but it was wonderful that it was younger kids. It is sad. It's none of that's taking place at home, and that's why you meet so many young people right now. Their parents is city girls, Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat. The society, like those are their parents. They're growing up on their phone. Their screen time is like 32 hours a day. If you can even imagine that.
Right.
What'd you say?
I want everybody in the comments check their screen time. See how long you've been on the screen.
Yeah, check your screen time. See how long you spent on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Like that's hours of your life that you're not getting back by that stimulation of your mind just going like this, that instant gratification. It's not happening. So you mean to tell me you want to go to Whole Foods and then someone's walking and they're holding the door open for you? They don't have them. They're not even thinking about that. They're just walking through there. It's just instant. None of that. But it's not taking place at home. So, good looks on that teacher that took it upon himself to show those kids that.
so this is my thing, and I think it's easy for people to say, and I've said it too. It's not going on at home where the parents are not teaching at home. It's a very easy thing to say, but I think society makes it almost impossible for parents to parent. Parents are working all day. Think about this. Parents are working all day. If you had a parent in the military, they're working all day. They come home, they're tired. They ain't got time to deal with you. They've been working all day. And so it takes an exceptional parent, which, I believe I am. It takes an exceptional parent to be cognizant of that and to make sure that you give your children that time, even when you're tired, right? But most parents are really working, and we moved from parenting when we went from the agricultural society, and Kavam brought this up too, when we go into the industrial revolution, where now parents are working all day. They got excited when the unions came in and dropped 16-hour work shifts into 8 hours, right? They got excited about that, right? So if you imagine that, most kids are being raised by other kids and teachers that don't really care about them like that. And so my problem with the video is not that you're teaching kids manners. They're not teaching manners. You're not teaching common courtesy to people. You're creating an expectation, an unwarranted expectation that men should have to pull out chairs for you to sit your ass down, right? And do all these other things. What I want to see is, what are they teaching the girls to do for the guy?
What they thought was thank you.
And then hold on. And furthermore, that when we talk about chivalry, again, that's why I don't like that word, because girls are not ladies. So if you go back and you look up how ladies were treated, how ladies had to act in those times, you would see there's another term come from: women are better seen and not heard. These ladies didn't have free will to just be speaking out their top of their mind. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is the stuff that transpired during those times. So if a lady wanted to be a lady, she had to be seen and not heard. You didn't have just open dialogue where you can just discuss what is up on top of your mind. That's not what transpired back in those times.
I think that was very misogynistic and toxic.
Yes. And so that's what the expectation. If I'm going to do all these things for you, open up the door for you and do all these things, shut your mouth. Don't say anything. That is what that time period dictated.
Yeah, we're not in that.
But so we're not there. And so you want me to still pull open doors and pull out chairs for you?
You want us to still take you out on our time?
No. See, I don't know what's going on, Mr. Hamilton, what happened, but this is not that. What I'm saying is
insult.
At home. No. What I'm saying is at home, the standard begins. So women learn how to be women from their mothers. So this era that we're in right now, mothers aren't even raising their daughters, their children to begin with. They're dropping their kids off at grandma dem house and they're out. Why? Because the city girls told them to do that. And that's what they're choosing to do right now. That is a specific group of women. That is a generalization.
That's what I said.
You said what?
I said it's a general. I'm talking generally about women these days.
You said that?
Women.
Okay,
I didn't hear you. I said if you talk to a traditional woman, yes, you should pour her child. You should do these things. But if you're talking about the current woman today who thinks they're equal to men, hell no. Sit your ass down yourself.
Jamari, can you bring up that comment again? I think Fallen Brick said something.
Yeah, go ahead, Bo.
Okay, well, I'm gonna bring this up for the world that I live in, the frugal world. More people are moving from the cities. They're no longer working 16 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours a day. Some people, they're moving to rural areas, and a lot of them are doing that because they want to spend time with their family. They want to raise their children. So there is a shift in this generation where more are becoming more family oriented. Now, when you talk about the 20 somethings and around that area, yes, there's still, like she said, hot girl summering, but you do have a movement where people are no longer trying to have everybody raise their kids where they're trying to raise their kids, and they're working less. You have the van life now. You have people transforming buses and living on buses. You have people living off a grid. So you do have those areas where I don't see it's wrong to teach your children to be respectful. I don't see. And then Hampton too, while you talking about, oh, these girls here are they sit their butts down and whatever the case may be because they hot girls and this stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's respect for yourself. Just because they act like that doesn't mean you have to treat them that way.
I ain't treating them no way. They just ain't
No,
getting no sugar from me.
I'm saying just because the females or some males, want to act that way doesn't mean you as an individual have to act that way. What's wrong with you pulling a girl inside and say, look, I pulled this chair out for you, or I'm opening this door for you because I have respect for you and I need you to have respect for yourself. This is what guys would do if you learn to respect yourself. This is the kind of guy that you might attract yourself to. I'm not saying you're going to do that to a complete stranger, every time you see one, but I'm just saying if more guys took that avenue, like, we're not turned on by that. We want you to act more respectable so we can treat you more respectful. Then maybe you're not going to change everybody, but you can change some.
No, but we come from the same household. And so I'm going to give you a quick story. And I told my wife when I came home. So I'm in Publix. And like I told you before, I open the door for anybody that's behind me. It's just not a big thing for me to help people. So I'm in Publix, and there's a stocker, the people that stock the groceries, right? So he went away from the cart. So there's a cart in the middle of the aisle, like one of those big carts that they take the boxes off of. And so I see a lady. She's an idiot because she tries to move her cart around. There's absolutely no room for her to move the cart around this other cart. And I see this. I'm like, okay, you're going to get stuck. And she still tries to do it. So obviously she gets stuck in the cart. So I'm looking at her. So I grab the cart and I adjust it so she can get through. What do you think she said?
She must have been rude.
She said nothing.
She said absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Oh,
I knew it.
She didn't thank you.
But
Hold on.
why did you move it when she could have moved it herself?
Hold on. And then there are plenty of times. Ask my wife. Like, put in the comments. Plenty of times I will open the door, and I'm not going to say which culture does it the most because y'all already know. I'm not going to put it. But y'all already know. And I open the door, no look back, nothing, no thank you, no nothing. Now I'm not expecting it. I'm like, well, she's okay. But when I open the door for a dude, he'd be like, oh, appreciate you, fam. Thanks. Open door for another culture. Oh, thank you. We know what culture I'm talking about. We're not going to get into that right now. It's another topic altogether.
But I'm not saying there ain't ignorance. I'm not saying if a guy goes on a date and he's nice to a female, she might not be rude. Look, I like thugs. Look, I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh my God. I'm done. Muting you. All right. Muted.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Muted. She's muted. Bo, you're muted. You're just embarrassing.
Let Bo talk.
Nah, I'm not gonna let her embarrass her. But no, she's done.
All in favor of letting Bo talk.
I was joking, Jamari, you little boy.
Bo, tell us about the thugs.
I'm not gonna say it, Trashy. I'm not gonna say it. It's not
I
right
like
now.
them thugs. You okay?
Oh, no.
That's right.
Stop. Hey, Pierre used to randomly call me in college. I'm like, because I'm a thug. I was raised in the gutter, and I'm still here.
I don't know how to be responsible for what every black male did. I don't know.
He's so stupid, man. Go ahead, Denisha. What you got to say?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's just the word is what. I mean, I get it. You're talking about the history of the word, but it's just coming back to the same thing to me. Common decency, respect. If it's something you don't get the right response from the person that you're doing it for, it's like you're not doing it for that person. That's just in your nature. That's who you are. You're just being respectful. If they don't say it, they don't do it, they don't respond, then that will just be that. But to say, I don't know, to say that people shouldn't do it is, I don't see what the result of that's going to be. You're not doing something for a reward, then that's what your attention is. The same way and I believe even B put in the comments, she's like, that woman was rude, but she's not every woman. That's the same thing.
So here's my question, Denisha, because you bring up an interesting idea. And I think I saw an episode of Friends too. So I got to give credit where the credit's due.
Friends is not funny.
Whoa. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. You're not cultured. You're not cultured. Anyway,
Friends was a ripoff of Living Single.
Living Single. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Muting. You're muted.
Damn.
Living Single.
You're muted. You're muted. Friends was way better than Living Single. You're muted. Yes, I said it. I did say it. Friends was way better. God, y'all made me forget what I was going to say. Yo.
Shame on you.
Y'all are messing me up. Oh, here's the idea. I'm asking this. So here's the idea. Here's the idea. Do people do things not to get some type of gratification or reward? Or is there something that people do that they have no expectation of remember, even if you open up the door for someone, they don't say thank you. Hopefully it still makes you feel good, or you wouldn't do it. Is there something that people do that there is no reward? They just do it and they get no satisfaction from actually doing it.
What?
Is there anything that you can do that you won't get no kind of satisfaction from?
If intrinsically or extrinsically?
Yeah, go to work. People go to work and they don't have any satisfaction from being at their
but you
get a paycheck.
You get a paycheck. You get expectation of the reason why you do it. So if you didn't get a paycheck, if you didn't get a paycheck, you wouldn't do it. You would not do it if you didn't get a paycheck.
Right.
No. I think
that people doing things with no expectation in return. Is that what you're saying? I think there's always an expectation somewhere. Maybe not a demand. Trishana Evans says exactly. Everyone knows that Living Single was for the culture and Friends was a copycat. So I think everybody does.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Yes. There's no such thing as true altruism.
Yeah, I think everybody does something with some kind of expectation. I could say that the best way to live would be like not to have like a demand, like, okay, if I buy you food, then you must give me the draws. If I go out with you, then you must pay for my food. If I do this, do that, then you must do this. And then I'm upset when it doesn't happen. I would say it's best to manage your own expectations, and then be free with what you want to be free with. And how I operate is I do unto others as I have them do unto me. And then if I don't get a positive experience with that exchange, I stop doing it. I won't necessarily be mad at them for what they didn't reciprocate, but I won't do it again. So it's like if I'm walking out with you and we go out and I open the door for you and you don't say thank you, and let's say I'm courting because I will open the door for my queen all the time. That's just what I love to do. I like to do that. But
there goes that term.
At any point in time, through our
No, I'm messing with Bo. Go ahead.
Oh, if at any time in our relationship I feel like I'm not being appreciated for anything, before I continue to do the things that are like those extra things, I have a conversation with that person. Like I'm gonna have a conversation like, listen, I'm not cool with this, what you did, and until we resolve that, I'm not continuing to do all of the extras. I'm gonna do the bare essentials, but I'm not gonna do the continued scenario. So that's where you're spreading your pearls among swine in that situation, and I think that's the balance. That's the good balance that y'all can find.
First of all, let me give a shout out to the people in the comments. We have some smart ass people.
Yeah, we do.
These are some
smart said disagree. Empathy drives altruism.
Like, come on, man. Give them a shout out.
Yeah, we do have some intelligence in the cookout.
Except for Trishana that said okay, Living Single was for the culture. I'm not going to say that it wasn't for the culture, but it just hands down, man, Friends, even if it's a copycat, because everything's a copycat of something. Friends, hands down. Does anybody remember how Living Single even ended? Like,
absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
So
every reward doesn't
necessarily come from the person you blessed. Pay it forward.
Fact.
Yeah, I get that.
And I would say this, Collins, like as many times I've opened the door for people and done things for people. I didn't. If I was doing it for their thank you, I would have stopped a long time ago.
Right.
But it does. I'm not gonna lie. It does make me feel good to it's a little.
Yeah, it feels good to help somebody out, man. I mean, I think we do have to. It's just one of those things where once you help somebody out and then something negative happens or something positive doesn't happen, then it's like, do I want to continue doing this? Probably not. At least for that person or that situation. Venetia Clancy says, I've been blessed by someone who asked for nothing in return. Good energy is good energy. Yeah, but then again, even in the Bible, which will tell you how to be good and all that stuff like that, they say don't spread your pearls among swine. So going back to what Hamilton was saying, like if the girl is a city girl and you happen to want to go out with her, do not spread that pearl amongst her and open up the doors for her and do all that thing because she might view you as a simp. And when she sees you as a simp, you're not going to get them drizzies. I think that's the basic idea what it came down to for Hamilton. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that what you're saying, Hamilton?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And let's not confuse common courtesy for people with chivalry. Chivalry is usually for women, some men that do for women. But like I forgot who said it, but you don't see men doing the same thing. I mean, women doing the same thing for men. What are men learning? I mean, what are women learning for the men?
Hey, a Bronx Tale though. So that actually taught. I don't know if y'all out there seen the Bronx Tale, but the dude taught him, hey man, when you get with your girl, you take a girl, hey, open the door for her, right? But make sure you leave your door locked, right? So that when if you walk around and she hasn't reached across that thing and flipped that lock up to open you up, hey, that ain't the one. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the one. So I get that's that reciprocity that we're looking for. Like, hey, y'all better teach the young ladies how to kick that reciprocal. Or instead of getting those, kind men that's looking to have a good courting relationship, you're gonna get them thugs and city girls making, oh my gosh, and then they're gonna breed, and then they're gonna make more of them, and then we're gonna be in the world that we in today with just these creeping people. Yeah, we don't want that. So gentlemen, if you're gonna be a gentleman, be only a gentleman to a lady, and then court the lady to find out if she's a lady or not. Because you don't just think that she looks a certain way. That
she doesn't have any title. She ain't got no land. She ain't no lady. Denisha, go ahead.
She ain't got no land. She no lady. Okay. I don't understand how the common courtesy of just being polite to like women. So is it that this is someone that you're interested in, or you mean just in general? Like, I don't get it. Like you said, if she's a city girl, then don't do it for her. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Common courtesy is just, you should have that for everybody.
Yeah, so you just like, let's like you're at the store and she's dressed how she's dressed, and we don't have to keep saying city girl, but she's whatever that she looks how you're assuming she looks right there.
Yeah.
And so because she looks like that, you're not gonna hold the door open for her?
Well, let me get this here. If I was to dress, okay, you just got your purse stolen. You ran up to me because I'm dressed up in the cop uniform and say, oh, our purse just got stolen. Can you help me? I'm like, I'm not a cop, I'm just dressed as one. So I say that to say, whatever you're dressing as, that's your costume. If you dress like a hoe, then I'm going to perceive you to be a hoe.
But what's dressing like a hoe?
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Showing too much cleavage, showing too much skin, too much. That's what hoes did back in the day. Women didn't really do that back in the day.
Hold on.
Lace.
I'm gonna say this. You gotta. If we're gonna talk about apparel, right? Like, you wouldn't go, let's say, to indigenous tribes, indigenous people that have less article of clothing.
No, we're not talking about those kind of people.
But what I'm saying is, just because what you perceive based on how you were brought up and based on what they told you what a hoe looked like, doesn't mean that is what she is.
Well, I mean, that's
what we got to start doing. And I think we're in this age right now. I actually love, as much as flack as this generation gets, I kind of like the more freedom of expression that we have. Remember, we went from a culture of people hiding their tattoos, putting their tattoos in places where you couldn't see them. Now people got full jobs, and you go to Best Buy, person's helping you out, sounds super intelligent, has a freaking tattoo on his face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't want to box people in based off of their
outward appearance.
Don't get me wrong.
I get it, but at the same time, we have to be careful too.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing these women,
No, I get you.
or any man or woman that does what they want to do. That's what they want to do. That's what you want to do. I'm saying there is a stigma, or there's a perception of people as a whole, the way you view certain things. And like I said, if I was in a cop's uniform, you're gonna run up to me and expect me to help you. If you in a whole uniform, which is what prostitutes usually wear, what girls go out today at nighttime, most likely going to be perceived as a whole, and they're gonna chase you as such. They're just gonna try to get the goods from you. That's all.
But hoes can be fully dressed, so
that's true as well. But you're saying based off perception. We're talking about perception.
Like, yeah, because that was the identifier.
First
that was the perception. Like if she looks like this or acts like this, then don't give her. Don't.
I would say actions versus the looks. For me, what I was talking about was if the girl is, let's say you go to her TikTok, right, or her Instagram, and all of it is booty shaking videos. And for some reason, you want to go out with her, right? Obviously, we know the reason is because you want to have sex with her, right? It would not be an intelligent move to then dole out the red carpet for her, because most likely what would happen is she would view you as just one of the 1,000 men that are willing to dole out money for.
You know what, Collins? That girl shaking her ass, she a virgin, Collins. She's a virgin. The girl shaking her ass, she hasn't done nothing in her life. She's shaking ass.
What are you talking
shaking
about?
Ass.
I'm just saying the idea, right? The idea.
You would mute me because I said I want a thug, but you ain't muting this one.
He is.
I'm speaking off.
He's muted. He's muted. I don't know.
What the hell we're talking about?
He needs to he got to come in and elaborate. I get what he's saying.
I said it because
virgin to actual experiences, I guess.
No, we're talking about perception. So if you see a woman shaking her ass on Instagram and that's all you see is ass pictures, I'm not gonna think this girl's a good girl. I'm not gonna think this girl is someone. I'm gonna bring her home to my mom, because she's shaking her ass and mama, look at her Instagram. No, my mom gonna think she a hoe too. It's perception. All girls that dress like that aren't hoes, but you don't know.
So she's really trying to show you that she's a healthy woman, like she's healthy. And she's able to.
Hey, they play like that these days.
Or she might be trying to show you that she's comfortable with herself or her body.
There is that.
Listen, they're comfortable with herself is bull. Like, if a girl's showing herself off, she's showing herself off for one reason only: it's to attract men. That's it.
No, not necessarily.
I want you to ask Hamilton this: Hamilton, have you ever went on social media and posed in the mirror with your shirt off?
Yes, sir. Yes. That's why I do it. I did it for one reason only: attract them women, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay, did your wife? Did you find your wife through that picture?
No, I didn't find my wife through that picture.
So what made, do anything? What made you post it?
Because I got an image to carry, and I gotta look good. I gotta show it.
Well, you shouldn't have posted that picture with your chicken chest. No,
that was no chicken chest over here. You talk about 10 years ago.
No,
no chicken chest
no. No,
chicken
you posted a picture because you was comfortable with your body. You were comfortable with
I posted a picture for one reason.
And you were comfortable with others seeing it. And women can do the same thing.
No, you can't tell me
why. Women can post pictures of their body because they're comfortable.
Hold on, but her booty shaking.
Right, we muted Hamilton. He's muted. He's muted. He got muted. They hit you with that. You've been muted.
Okay, because for a long time, women who had not a certain shape. When society said everybody need to be skinny and you had curves, people looked at you and said, oh, you're not, you got a little weight. You're not, that's bad.
Please don't go here. Don't go here. I'm warning you.
I'm going to go there. You need to lose weight or you need to whatever. So now women got curves and they like to show their curves and they're okay with that.
Okay.
And they respect their body. And some of them, might be what we say a little obese or whatever, but if they're comfortable with that, then that's fine. That's their body and they have the right to be comfortable with that. And nobody has the right to say, oh, that's nasty or she shouldn't do that or whatever. That's her body.
I'm sorry, we do have the right. Some people just need to be shamed. What is healthy about somebody being obese? What is healthy about somebody being obese? You fat, you can't move, you can't walk. You like why are you talking about? Why should I respect you if you don't respect yourself?
Okay, let's go here. I'm 142 pounds.
Mhm.
According to my height, I'm supposed to be 119. If I was 119, I would look anorexia.
Nah, not for your height.
Yes, I would. I know because I got there before and it was horrible. My grandmother, our grandmother said, "Baby, what you doing to yourself? You on that stuff?" And I was like, "No, I just lost weight." So don't tell me.
All I'm
It's
saying
not. That's
think
not.
Bo's
You,
capping
but
on that one.
according to
It's
my
like
weight,
that.
I'm obese because I'm 142.
I've
Hey,
never known
all I'm
Bo's
saying
ever
is there's nothing sexy about an
119.
obese woman, obese man. So this is the thing.
I was
When man, listen to
119
the thing.
after I had
When a man gets
Chivalry.
fat, a man get obese. People don't be like, "Oh, love your body, man. Love your curves." He can't be in mama's
Yeah,
basement
some
fat.
women love to hold a round person
Listen,
at
listen,
night.
listen,
We
listen.
don't
We're
get
talking about
into
general. We're talking about the general obese men. We're talking about general women. If you're a fat piece of shit in your mama's basement, you can't get no women. Period. Period. But you want
Okay,
women to turn
your
around. Wait, you want
view
women to turn
on the
around and
world
be
and your
accepted.
dating
You want
experiences.
women to turn around and be
Hey.
Yeah,
accepted.
woo,
Hey,
woo,
Denise,
woo. Let me
Denise,
slow him down.
all
Let me
you gotta
slow
do,
him down. All right, bring
hit
it
it with
back. Bring
the,
it back.
all you
Calm
gotta do,
down,
hit it
Hal.
with the,
Calm
I
down.
just
All
don't
right,
know
so
how we got
you
here.
want women
like,
to
who
be.
hurt
don't
you?
even know.
Like,
The
who
problem
hurt you?
is you want women
Who
to
hurt
be.
you, Hal?
Women want women to be accepted for anything. Like so,
You
you're.
have to maybe when we play this back, you can tell me where either women on this panel said that we
I
want
say
women.
women. I'm saying women in general. Like Bomika just said just now that they gotta love her curves, whatever.
Because you were
can't
trying to tell us why that girl was shaking her butt, and she said that you accepted
she
it.
went to fat. She went to obese. I didn't go there. I said warning a
Big
long
Papa
time
got
ago.
the.
I said warning a long time
And
ago.
I said, we are like, according to
It's
me,
different
I'm obese.
for
I'm
men,
142 pounds. Do
There's
I look
status.
obese?
Please sit
No,
down.
not according to some people. I don't look obese. Okay, I'm 142 pounds. But if I go into the doctor's office, they're gonna tell me you're slightly obese.
Hey, they said I was obese.
But I'm comfortable, and I'm comfortable with my body, and
It's
I'm
not about.
somebody out there, girl out there, who's got a body like mine, and she's comfortable, and she want to take pictures, and she want to be in the mirror, like when
It's
you put your chicken chest in the mirror and took pictures and was comfortable for the world to see, and
It's
she
not
do it.
about.
It's okay.
Ooh,
It's not
fallen
about
brick.
being
Now,
comfortable.
I
It's
meant what
love
she
about.
was saying.
that thing here. The difference between
Fix the
being
shit, yeah.
flirting and sexual harassment is that guys look. Listen, this is all facts.
Hey,
Fallen Brick, all you do is speak facts. Fallen Brick, all you do is speak
fallen
facts.
brick.
Give me
Just
100.
be,
Fallen
hey,
Brick,
MVP,
all you do is speak
MVP.
facts. MVP. Get in.
It's
No,
not
that
about
is
being.
that
It's
is
not-
true though. I've actually seen social experiments where a guy paid a compliment to a girl and like that was handsome or whatever, and a guy that was obese or whatever, you dressed down or whatever, and did the same thing, and
Boom.
they were
Gone.
taking offense. They were
Yes,
taking
sir.
offense. Where in the same place where the guy was like, oh, and they were laughing it off. And so I do see that that idea though. I like it does play out. I mean, damn, that makes me question myself now. Now I feel like, have I ever done something that's sexual harassing to a girl that
Yes, I've
they
seen
love?
you do it.
Like
Regularly.
they
Let's
loved
not go there. Let's
They
not go there.
enjoyed it,
Let's not
but
go
I'm
there.
not going to go there, but yes,
but
I've
some
seen you.
ugly dude
I've
he
seen
did,
you.
then,
I've seen you sexually harass women on a regular basis, Colin.
Man,
It
You
just
gonna
so
say
happened
this
in college.
live,
Just
though?
so happened in college that you was athletic with the brown eyes, and they just didn't give a damn. They just didn't give a damn. They was like,
No. I mean, let's not get it twisted though. Like if what they call catcalling, right? If the guy says, "Hey girl, how you doing?" and she turn around and the guy look good, she's like, "Oh hey," and the other guy says, "Hey girl, how you doing?" and they turn around like, "What you calling my name for?" And so the exact same thing will happen in the same situation, but then people look different, the results are different. I do get that. I do understand.
I'm gonna go back to what Mika said real quick though. Mika, it's not about being comfortable. It's about a human. You're only supposed to have a certain amount of fat on your body. There's a certain amount of fat on your body that's healthy. When you start getting obese levels, depending on your height, it just goes into your unhealthy. Like your arteries get clogged. Jamari can tell you about this more than me, but it's just unhealthy. So You can't walk around here being on the front of Sports Illustrated, fat as hell, and say I look sexy. No, you don't. Like, it's the media trying to.
Well, you can say it. You can say it, but people might not
You
believe
can
it.
say it, but the man that you're going for.
I would say this. Maybe they feel sexy. I think one of the first things. I don't think we should body shame people. I think we should body educate people. You know,
True.
health. I don't think shaming people does a good thing. That can lead them to being depressed. That can lead to suicide. Lead all types of stuff that we don't.
Look at Japan, man.
But I think. But hold on. You're talking about when you talk about other cultures and how they eat based on how Americans eat.
I'm talking about based on shaming.
Yeah, but we're not. First of all, we're not gonna go in Japan. My wife knows how I feel about that. Anyway, my thing is like you should definitely educate. Yes, I would want somebody, and I think it's perfectly fine for a person that may be medically obese, right? To feel confident about who they are as a being. They love themselves. One of the first things of actually starting to lose weight is love yourself. Love who you are. I'm not telling you to be complacent, but you got to love who you are and then work your way down. Now, if they want to be obese and stay obese and they don't want to do anything about it, well, they have to understand the repercussions of that, of the health risk of that. But I don't believe in anybody shaming anybody, because who the hell are you to shame me? I can find anything about anybody to shame anyone. So we got to be careful with that, because then you go into all types of stuff that we don't really want to see in the world. I get what you're saying, but
I mean, people get shamed, and you go to prison. A lot of times you come out in the world and you're shamed. You can't get certain things. You can't do certain things.
And if we're going to talk about the American culture, which we're all in the American culture,
I'll talk about Japan.
That's what I'm saying. You're not going to find that type of stuff, that institutionalized things that they do with prisons and stuff in other countries. I remember they did a study in Germany. I think I talked about this on the pod before, but in Germany, they asked the guy, did he fear being raped? And he looked at the dude like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah. So our culture is different, right? And like I told you, our culture is different. Hold on, body type is genetic as well. Let me get to these comments. They're
body type is not genetic. Being obese is nothing genetic about being obese.
Yes.
No.
There's other
do
medical
not
factors.
say, please.
Hold on. Ham. Some people are more prone, genetically to gain weight. Look how skinny Hammer you eat. You drink.
That's not what I'm saying, bro. That's not what I'm saying.
You drink Mountain Dews every day of your life, and you didn't gain a pound.
That's not what I'm saying, bro.
Drink Mountain Dew every day of life, and they probably have a heart attack.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying being obese is not a genetic issue. You control every piece of food that enters your mouth. So if you're the type of body that gains weight faster than others, then that means you got to cut down more on some things than I don't have to.
I agree.
If I'm skinny, I got to eat a lot more to gain weight than other people have to. So It's not a genetic thing. It's we keep making excuses for obese people. We got the highest obesity rate in the world, America, in the world. Look it up. It's a problem, and you know why? Because people are not being shamed. If you go to Japan, your family, they honor their family. If you dishonor your family, you are shamed. You are shamed. You are dishonored in your family if you do something crazy.
First of all, little brother.
Oh shoot, get him.
Obesity don't have nothing to do with whether or not you're ashamed. A lot of time, obesity has to do with your parents.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
How people are raised. A lot of people, families, their parents don't eat right. So then the children don't eat right. So therefore, the children grow to be obese because they don't know no better. They're just eating the same way that their family be eating the whole same time. We are all Black Americans. We all know soul food is not good for you, but we was raised on that.
We're not all Black Americans on here.
That's not an excuse.
African Americans, whatever. But
we got a Haitian, Dominican, Republic. We got, I don't know what.
We all Black folks.
Did you say Republican?
We all Black people.
So if I grew up,
was raised on
so if I grew up in poverty, is that then okay for I'm 25 years old still to remain in poverty?
Let's go.
How about it being okay? You more than likely will.
Better.
Hold
If
on.
you
Go
don't
ahead.
know better,
That's an excuse.
Hold on, Denisha, go ahead.
No, Bo wasn't finished talking.
No, she had.
Yeah, I want to get you because you didn't say anything. Go ahead.
No, he just said about if he grew up in poverty. You said if you grew up in poverty, would you end up in poverty? Would you remain
No,
there?
it's an excuse for me to be that way when I'm 25 in America.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's an excuse. No. Is the likelihood high in the 60, 70 percentile?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would say this, Trashy. Yeah, people have Google, but as you know, being an educator, y'all don't know how to. Most people don't know how to really use Google, like for real. Like they just Google random stuff. So yes, first of all, learned behavior is a very powerful thing. I don't think y'all really understand the power of neuroscience and what a synapses is and freaking a neural pathway. Like these are real concrete things in your brain. So yes, a learned behavior is extremely powerful. And the only way you can get out of that is you have to relearn something. And so you have to be exposed to something else that your brain says, oh, this is a better choice. But most people, your brain is geared to take shortcuts. Your brain is geared to take the easy route. It doesn't like going to run every single day. It doesn't want to do exercise every single day. It wants to. This is why fast food is so prevalent in America, because it's easier. These things are easier, and it's cheaper. So learned behavior is powerful, but yes, you can't. It isn't. People do use it as an excuse, right? But again, you're absolutely right. At some point, you have to become cognizant of what you're doing, and at the end of the day, your body is your body, and no matter how much information that you get, a lot of people know that they're overweight. A lot of people know when they drink a soda, Hamilton, that it's bad. A lot of people know already. People know that cigarettes are bad for them, and they still smoke. People know all the foods that they eat are bad, most of them, and they still do it. Why?
They're not present to the cost, or they don't care about the cost.
Or they can't afford it. You don't listen.
How could you not afford to not smoke?
Listen. So
goddamn first world country. Yes.
Listen. So I'll go to the grocery store. Now I have to change my diet. Y'all know that. If you didn't know, you do. So I have to change my diet, right?
Yes.
So I'm going grocery shopping. So I'm going in the outer perimeter because as a frugal person, I know that all the bad stuff and the most expensive stuff is in the middle of the grocery store. I'm thinking the stuff on the outside, I'm going to get that, and that's going to be the cheapest, right? So I tried to go get some chopped up fruit, $10 for chopped up fruit, right? $10. But I can go up the aisle and get one of those Nutri-Grain bars, which has got way more sugar and ain't good. It's not as good as people think it is for you. Right.
Absolutely.
And it's only going to cost me $2 for a box. You know what I'm saying? Versus getting this fruit, which is more healthier, which is $10. What you think I'm going to buy? I'm going to buy the one that says that it's nutritious and that I can afford because it's only $4 versus $10. And that's how people are. It baffles me how anything that's good for you, good for the planet, good for us, it costs more. I think more people would live healthier lives if they could afford it.
Yeah, and that's here too, by the way. It's actually inverse. When I went to Canada, we went to the grocery store, and they had, whereas we would have, Fruit Loops and all of these fruity, sugary cereals, right? And mass, and you can find one or two healthy cereals like 10, 15 years ago. They had it inverse, and the Fruit Loops, or the sugar one was the expensive one because their healthcare system they pay the bill. So they're like, no, we don't want to give the people this stuff because then we got more money we got to pay out.
Right.
So it's by design here. It is by design here.
Yeah. Versus in America, the healthcare system is $1 billion business. Yeah. I want you to get sick. I want you to be non-healthy because I want you to pay for a trainer. I want you to pay for this medication I'm about to give you. I want you to come to me and need all these surgeries and everything like that. Of course. No diss to you, doctor. Please get your, use them as a pharmacist.
product retention or client retention. But Elohim Redeem says it's not because they're not being shamed, it's because of the body positive movement. And that's going back to our previous conversation. And I would say this though, along with the everything frugal movement, and here's something that you could do to try and reprogram the neural pathways on your clients, is go ahead and do the full math. Then instead of how much do I pay for this bowl of fruit versus how much I'll pay for this Nutri-Grain, be like, how much does it pay for this surgery that I'm probably going to have later on once my kidney fails? So let me stop drinking this, or let me stop, let me stop this alcohol and stuff like that. If you incorporate the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars that you will have, I mean, you're going to spend that money anyway. So you might as well spend it on the good food as opposed to the surgery that you're going to probably need later on.
And I would say this, and I'm going to get into the comment. Didn't you have anything to say? Kavan, are you still watching the track meet? Kavan,
Yeah,
like he watching the track meet. He's watching the track meet.
I am not watching the track meet. I'm listening to you guys. It's just that what the interesting thing to me.
Go ahead.
Give me a second. No, I just heard something pop.
No, so I heard it too.
I live in Georgia, so we
heard it.
Okay, so I have to agree with Bo. And Bo, it's interesting when you said about groceries, the good stuff being in the middle, and the bad stuff being on the peripheries. I want to know what grocery store you're shopping in, but that's not the case at Publix. So
no, I said that the good stuff, the bad stuff, is in the middle. The outer perimeter of your store, you're going to find your fruits, your vegetables, your meats. All the good stuff is on the outer perimeter. When it comes to frugal, and we tell people how to shop and coupon and stuff like that, we tell them stay out of the middle of the store, because that's where you're going to spend the most of your money. But on the health side, that's where all the bad stuff is too. All the bad stuff is in the middle of the store. Your cereals, your all that. You want granolas and all that. That's going to be over by the deli, by the really good stuff, over there, the good nuts, the healthy, that's all on the outer perimeter. But the inside of the aisles is where you're going to find, your high in sugar, high in cholesterol, all that stuff is going to be in there.
Your frozen foods.
Right. Yeah, your frozen foods, which I don't understand why people buy frozen food. You can make that at home and freeze it yourself. That's just a waste of money. Dang. I guess you're paying for the convenience of it pre-made. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for the convenience of someone else making it and packaging it and sticking it in the freezer. You could get all the ingredients and do the same thing in your home for way less and more healthier.
Awesome.
Okay, so there was a comment also made that it seems as though the healthcare field and the food industry is set up to keep majority of people sick, so to speak. Being in healthcare, I can say that for the most part, except for probably bacteria, right? We don't really try to cure much things. We try to maintain it. And is it possible that there is truly no cure? There is just way more research put into maintenance meds than there is stuff that cure people.
Curative.
Yeah. Because there's just more money to be, more return on investment, right?
Yeah.
As fast food is concerned, so there's a Middle Eastern country where they moved a bunch of fast food companies to. And you guys saw what happened?
What happened?
Or a bunch of the people just started getting fat.
Oh yeah. No, they did it in Japan. While y'all were talking about Japan, though, that happened in Japan, where their average life expectancy and their obesity and their cancer rates and all these things started going up once they started introducing McDonald's and Burger King and whatever. Like in the last 20 years, it just went up like this. Boop.
Right. The problem with trans fats is that our body just does not have the enzymes to break down trans fats. It's like the same thing with chocolates and dogs.
That's transphobic. You can't say that.
Funny enough. Okay.
Muted Colin. He's muted.
By the way, trans and cis, when they say cisgender female, meaning Bo Indonesia, right? One day I was sitting down, I was like, Where did they get cis from? Cis. Oh my God, it's organic chemistry. So, if for those of you that did organic chemistry in college, that's where the term cisgender female comes from. It's organic chemistry. But anyway, back to what I was saying, right? Our body just doesn't have the uh enzymes to break down trans fats. So once it gets into you, it's very hard for your body to excrete it, right?
Mm.
So that's why we gain weight because of our diet in the United States and because of the lack of exercise, right? We work just way too much, way too much, you know. And my son he's European, and he was telling me, he said to me, he said, Dad, in Europe, if you were to tell somebody you were working a 60-hour week, they would think that you were insane.
Yeah,
In America, that's commonplace.
that's normal.
You know.
And Kavan, I tell people, and I've been saying this a lot on my social media, is that working out is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Like if you have a job and then you're working out too, you're gonna be just super exhausted.
Done.
Like
Correct.
it's a lot of work.
All
And
right.
like I tell people, 99% of the time I do not want to work out. Like
Right.
I just do it because
Yeah, it
I'm
keeps you
gonna,
healthy.
I'm gonna
Um,
live to be 2,000 years old, but that's another topic altogether.
for those that want to lose weight, if you are, and the terminology is clinically obese. If you're clinically obese, right?
There it is. That's right.
Denisha is shaking her head. Denisha, you want to chime in? No.
You go at White Coat. I'll go when you're
Okay.
done.
So if you're clinically obese, right? Like I like to say, there's a drug for that. Okay. So uh currently, but there's three major drugs for it now. You can use phentermine, which I don't like because it does have some problems. After 90 days, it starts affecting your heart. It's kind of like Adderall, but a dumbed down version. So phentermine, it's a C4, so it's easier to get. Phentermine, or you can use phentermine with Topamax, right? Make sure you don't drink, or else you're gonna end up like Kanisha Jenkins, right? That's the girl in Chicago that ended up in a freezer because she had Topamax and alcohol. Yeah. Yeah. So she ended up in a walk-in freezer because she was trying to cool off, right? So there's ways to you remember that, Bo? Yeah.
Yeah, she was missing. They had her on camera walking into. She was in a hotel. There was a
Yep.
party or something. She was walking.
That's really
They
what
seen
happened
her
to her?
disappeared.
Yeah.
They didn't know what happened to her. She was in a freezer.
Yeah, her body was
That's
overheating because
crazy.
she had taken Topamax, right, and drunk alcohol. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's phentermine with Topamax, right, and there's also one of the latest anti-diabetic insulins. It's called Ozempic. Ozempic actually makes individuals lose weight. I had a patient call in recently that was 2.5 times her BMI. So, and that's big. That's huge. And she got on Ozempic and was losing a lot of weight. Ozempic is not cheap. It's up there about $1,300 for a month supply, right? Yeah, but it works. It's a once weekly shot. Imagine you taking a shot once weekly and you're just losing weight, right? So that's that's where we are in medicine right now, and these things work, right? Jamari, like you said, some days you just don't feel like working out. If you were on phentermine, it would be automatic. It's almost, to me, it phentermine reminds me of remember that movie Limitless?
Yeah.
That's what phentermine is to weight loss. You have the energy. It's a better meth, put it that way, and you have the energy to get up and
Did you
go.
say a better? Did you say a better meth?
Yeah, correct. Yes, I
Yeah,
said
you
that.
did, boy. Oh,
You know,
Right.
so
Right.
yeah, it's a legal meth. So those are your forms of losing weight, and I think in America, like someone was saying earlier, uh, fast food is more convenient. People don't have they just don't have the time to cook, right? And it's kind of sad because my kids love what you call it again, Chick-fil-A, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, Chick-fil-A isn't real food. You know, they're allowed to have Chick-fil-A now once a week. You choose your day. After that, it's done. You got to wait till next week. It's like a paycheck. You know, because it's not good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so and someone was saying also it depends on the household that you grew up in, and that's absolutely true. You know, when you start feeding these kids at a young age, that's all they know. And so they continue down these bad habits, right? You know, it's actually cheaper to cook than it is to go out and eat every day.
Facts.
You know, in the store, one day I sent my son to get some Subway for me and his younger brother and himself. He came back and the bill was $35. Now I teach him how to tip, right? So he said the tip was included, and the bill was $35. And I sat down and I worked out the math. I'm like, I can cook for 2.5 days on $35, right? And it's way better food. It's coming out of the pot, right? So I think we need to sit back for a minute and look at our priorities. Again, we work so hard that we don't have. It's what we call in medicine the vicious cycle. We work so hard that we don't have the time to cook a proper meal, right? We don't have the time to exercise, and then when we make the money, we now have to use that money to get maintenance meds so we can stay alive, so we can continue to work. So I think we need to reevaluate what we're doing as a society, right?
And I
Because
would go ahead.
mhm, because
I said
health is wealth.
I would chime in. I would chime in and say, I think I told Bo this, that when you start eating better, you actually eat less. Like when you get all the nutrients and the minerals that you need for your day, you actually are not as hungry as you would be if you eat a pizza. Because I can eat a whole pizza by myself and still feel hungry as hell. Still, because it doesn't shut off that mechanism that tells my brain to stop eating. It doesn't.
All right.
So go ahead.
So maybe about 2 years ago, I lost 48.2 pounds in 3.5 months, and it took some discipline. But what my wife did is that she put me on a juicing diet, so I could have as many juices as I want, right, from the juicer, right. I recommend that you guys get a heavy duty juicer if you're going to do this, and I'm allowed to eat one solid meal a day, just one. I choose it. If it's a Snicker bar, that's it. If it's a Subway sandwich, that's it. Whatever it is, I get one, and everything else is juices. I guarantee you, if you guys get on that program, you will lose weight extremely fast. Here's the kicker: once you start, right, you cannot go back to your old ways. The weight is going to come back, right, because your muscles your fat cells have already increased in size. So what you're doing is shrinking the size. So the potential is always there for them to grow back, right? And as a result, once you get on a diet, you have to stay on that diet. If you get on a juicing diet, stay on it. If you get off, you will get weight. You will gain weight back again. All right. So that's one option for you guys. You know that really want to lose weight, and it's not hard. All it takes is just consistency, consistency, consistency. Right. And that's all I have with in terms of weight loss, where medicine is concerned. Um, and maybe where society and our goals are, you know. I'll turn it back over to you, Jamar.
I want to ask you, can you wrap this up in like 30 seconds? But I want to ask you a question. And this can spill over into another topic someday. Do you think that the medical industry is getting a bad rap when it comes to health? Because a lot of people do bash the medical industry, but you can speak more to this. There are a lot of medical breakthroughs that are happening as well, especially in the realm of, hold on, what is Collins doing? Especially in that realm, right? So what do you think?
So I ask that question one more time. So what I'm hearing is you asking me if I think the medical industry gets a bad rap when it comes to health.
When it comes to health, right? So you have the holistic movement, right? You have the holistic. Everybody's, once they start realizing about health, they want to get greens and stuff like this. But what a lot of people don't realize, you can speak to this better than me, is that, and I've read this, is that at some point in your life, especially if you've been eating bad your entire life, that your body gets bad at absorbing nutrients from specific foods, right? So my question is, do you think the medical industry just in general is getting a bad rap versus the holistic movement that they're having, right? Because at some point, like I think it was Steve Jobs. At some point, he had some type of pancreatic. He didn't have pancreatic cancer exactly at a form of it. So then he tried to resort to going holistic when he should have got a surgery. And by the time he realized he should have got the surgery, it was already too late.
I think just like with any industry, healthcare can improve, right? That is just how life is in the society, the world that we live in. Every industry can improve. As a person currently in healthcare, I think healthcare puts money above patient safety and people's lives. Um, but you have to understand that healthcare is driven by corporations. Their goal is to make a profit, right? Um, if you think about it, a doctor, in order for a doctor to even keep a practice open, he has to see about 5 to 6 patients an hour, right?
Dang.
If he's not seeing 6 patients an hour, his practice is going under. You know,
So he
the re-
needs sick people. He needs sick people.
they absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you an example, right? You might know her, but there's a doctor that we went to school with, right?
Mhm.
And when we get off, I'll talk about it. And I reached out to her recently because I wanted to do some business with her. She's a dermatologist now. If I mention her, you know. And we spoke over throughout the years, and she had told me, she said, I'm going to end up dying with my debt, right? Her student loan that is, right? So you have to understand that on top of this debt, the physicians, not only the physicians, but everyone else that works in healthcare, they may have kids, they may have a household, they're going to have bills, right? When you become a doctor, guess what? People start throwing there's if you go to a bank, right? Go to a lot of these banks' websites. There's actually special loans for people with a doctoral degree.
Yep. Yep.
You know, so because they know that the money is, chances are you're going to pay it back. So it's just there's almost like a driving force in medicine to keep patients coming back. I'll give you another example. And you right, and to a certain extent, yes, healthcare does get a
All
bad
right,
rap,
Paul. Appreciate you.
right? Um, Recently, I saw a patient, not in my own practice, but a different practice, and the patient was written a prescription for a medication that I know did not work. Period. It would not work for that particular ailment, right?
Mhm.
So I called the doctor, and the doctor said, the the receptionist picked up, and I told the receptionist, "Hey, look, the doctor wrote for this drug, right? It does not work." I'll say the doctor worked for ciprofloxacin. The patient had a walk-in pneumonia or community-acquired pneumonia, right? Ciprofloxacin does not work for community-acquired pneumonias. It just doesn't penetrate well in the lungs. It doesn't work. So when I called and I said, "Hey, this is the pharmacist calling to let the doctor know that she wrote for ciprofloxacin. Does she mean levofloxacin, right? Because they're both in the same category. They just have different what do you call it again, properties that make them absorb in different tissues." So lo and behold, the doctor gets on is telling the receptionist to tell their pharmacist I said either fill it or give my patient back his prescription so you can go somewhere else.
Wow.
Sure enough, right? Sure enough, I spoke to the supervisor of that pharmacy, and I said, "Hey, look, I had to call the doctor in this situation, and this is what happened." The guy that was supervising, he told me, he said, "You shouldn't have called the doctor." I said, "Wait, what?" He said, "No, you shouldn't have called the doctor." He said, "Worst case scenario, the drug don't work, the patient will come back with another prescription." And I'm like, but you wouldn't want somebody to do that to your mom, your father, your brother. And this is where we are in healthcare, you know, where so I told the patient, I said, "Look, let me explain something to you. This drug does not work in the lungs. So if 2 days pass and you don't see yourself getting better, you need to go find another doctor, carry this to them, and let them know that this is what the original doctor wrote. The pharmacist said it wouldn't work, but he dispensed it, and they need to write for something different." There's a ton of other drugs they could have given them. Azithromycin would have worked, a Z-Pack, levofloxacin would have worked. So healthcare has some issues, You know, all doctors are not created the same. When I went to school, we had individuals that used to chant C equal degrees. Okay, they were just there to just skate by and make it, and some of them did, right? We got rid of the majority of the C's guys, right? But some of them did. So not all doctors are created equal. Not all pharmacists are created equal. Not all nurses are created equal, right? Guys, there are individuals that literally went to school and got C's throughout the entire program. You know, and unfortunately, they're the ones that are practicing now. Some of them.
So when we gonna drop this 101? We got to drop this 101. We definitely got to drop this 101. We got to create. We're gonna talk about when we get offline.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. People are. It's getting late. You know, people are signing out. Trashy. Good night. Fallen Brick. Again, we want to thank everybody that came out and supported another great night. You know, Hamilton is probably, he's probably going to get canceled. But we're going to continue to support him. We're going to continue to make sure he doesn't. I don't know. Can I black him out? I can't black you out. So again, we got the relationship guru. We got relationship guru Collins. Make sure you check him stuff out in the description. We got everything frugal. Make sure you go check her stuff out in the description. We're gonna get Denisha back on here again, although she be running. She was lively in the comments. I want y'all to pay attention how when you're on the screen, right? It's different.
We're talking about biometrics. Doctor was in his bag. There was nothing for me to do or say. I don't understand the conversation with the 12 different metaverse wormholes. What did you want from me tonight? Please give me an answer.
We got you. So Denisha, you coming back?
I'll come back. I'll be back.
Where Buddy at? Buddy, let's get Buddy on here too. Buddy, don't run from it, Buddy. Buddy, pop in here, Buddy. Let's see Buddy face. Pop in. Let's see your face, Buddy. Come on, man. Come on.
Hold on.
Bro. Buddy, is Buddy still in the military or he got out?
No, Buddy's out.
We definitely want to give a shout out to Buddy. Appreciate
what up,
you,
Buddy?
Appreciate you.
Thank you for your service, buddy.
Your country, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you for your service.
When you're ready for that VA loan, you know who to holler at.
Hey, what base did he serve? What base did he serve on?
Homestead Airfield. He was all over, but the most recent was the Homestead Airfield.
Okay.
I'm ready for the smoke. Buddy said he's ready for the smoke.
Come on, you were in
Bye, V.
I was in Moody Air Force Base. Yeah.
Yay.
Guys, make sure y'all like and subscribe. And let's keep this channel thing going. Let's keep it going. See how big we can get. I appreciate everybody for being here. Dr. Pierre is here as usual. His stuff will be in the description. Everybody's stuff will be in the description. That's another one of Unlike Cookout. Again, we are out.